Welcome to the Redirect Podcast. My name is Abigail Freshley.
And I'm Emily Rojas. The Redirect Podcast is a show where we shift the conversation back to books. We discuss themes from some of our favorite books and how those themes show up in our real lived experiences.
On today's episode, we are discussing the third installment of the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros, Onyx Storm.
But before we get to that, we would love for you to support the pod in a few simple ways. First, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and let us know that you love the show.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at Redirect Podcast. And if you really, really love the show, you can share it with a friend, because sharing our show with a friend is the best way to grow our community of book-loving nerds. And
who we love.
Yeah, so much. I just want to say that there's so much community around reading in general, but especially when you're reading a series like the Fourth Wing series.
Yes.
Or a series that's like currently coming out. There's tons of community.
Yes. There's
online
nothing
and
like
in person
it.
to be built around it.
There's nothing like it, and it's something that's so rare as well these days, outside of books, because like so many movies like are just on streaming. Like you don't have to go see them in the theater, and TV shows don't come out once a week. People are just binging them, and like there's just so few things that people can kind of rally around and discuss all at the same time. So I think books is one of those places that's never going to go away, and at least for now.
It still takes years to write a book and publish a book, I guess.
So it's just fun, and there's nothing like the high. I didn't get to experience that with Harry Potter, but I do remember with Twilight, like theorizing and chatting and podcasting. So thanks for being here.
Totally.
Before we get started, I have this idea, because you're not on TikTok anymore and things are happening in the fandom world. I think, every so often I could update you on the most bizarre or interesting development in the world of fandom that we mutually share on TikTok specifically. Okay, so now I want you to know that there is a new ship taking hold in Marauder's TikTok.
What? Is it Jegulus?
No, it's the most insane ship. I think it kind of started as a joke, my understanding, because my ability to trace this is my hypothesis. People started like there was like a trend of making TikToks where Peter is like really funny. And they're like, this is why, like, no one understands why Peter was friends with them, because he betrayed them. But this was him every night in the dorm room. And they would use audios. You know that comedian Caleb something? With
Caleb
an H?
Heron. I'm literally obsessed with him.
Yes, he's so funny. Couldn't remember his last name. So people were using a lot of his audios and being like, this was Peter every night in the Gryffindor dorm room. So then Peter is becoming more humanized. And then I think it's a joke, but now it's like there's starting to be like very serious edits about him and Gilderoy Lockhart.
Stop it.
And their ship name is Gilderat. And there are like very emotional, like voiceovered Gilderoy Peter edits going around TikTok now.
Oh my God.
That's what you're missing. Okay,
that is crazy. And also, I just want the listeners to know about why I'm not on TikTok, and therefore why the podcast is not active on TikTok, since it is via my login. And that is because when I thought TikTok was going away forever, I deleted the app from my phone.
Right.
And then when they restored service to US users, that is great, because then other people can use it again. But you still can't download it from the App Store.
Right.
So I just don't have it. And then also I was like, got a little bit of the ick from TikTok. So I was like, well,
like maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, whatever. But I also have something to say about Caleb Heron. Caleb, if you are listening to this, I think we would be really, really good friends. And also, I have been a fan of Caleb Heron since like before he was like really took off, before he was famous.
Yeah, I believe that.
And when we first moved to LA, Zach and I were walking around our neighborhood Target. And I saw him.
Oh my God.
I like turned an aisle, and he was standing there with someone else, like shopping. And I was like, I just turned around and I looked at Zach, and I was like, oh my God, that's Caleb Heron. Because I had gotten Zach hooked on Caleb Heron because of that one video he does where he was like, Elon Musk. You know what I'm talking about?
Right? Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, Zach was like, you have to go say hi to him. You have to go say hi to him. But I couldn't.
You didn't.
I couldn't meet my
That's
hero.
real.
And
no, like that's a bad idea.
Literally, like, we were checking out at the same time. We were walking to our cars at the same time. And that was probably my best chance to ever really make a friendship with him.
Right.
Because now he's like too famous for me to like actually be friends with.
Yeah.
But anyways, Caleb, if you happen to be one of our couple dozen, a few dozen loyal listeners,
that would be amazing.
Please
reach out.
Would love to chat.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to say, if you follow us on Blue Sky, our newly created Blue Sky account, you will see that Emily and I were actually together.
Yeah.
Just like a week ago, or like less than a week ago. And
yesterday.
We were at a bachelor
You were
party.
at my house yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. But this incident occurred. We were at a bachelorette party, and there were substances involved, of course.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, I was like, hey, guys, does anybody know anything about Wolfstar?
I wish you guys could have been there, honestly. Because, unfortunately, I think we've normalized it too much. And it's like, well, this is actually canon. This is actually what happened. But then you get around normal people and they look at you like you're like genuinely should be committed to an institution.
And then I was like, the next thing I know, my body is taking over and I'm screencasting onto like, I'm airplaying onto the TV all of my saved like Wolfstar edits from TikTok, and everyone is just like, wow. And it didn't go over well, and I think everyone thought we were freaks.
The good news about this is that originally, so we did a PowerPoint presentation night while we were there, and originally I was like, I should do like why Wolfstar is canon. And I was like, Abigail, what do you think the vibes are? And she's like, I don't know. Maybe not. And I'm so glad that I did not go with that.
We didn't know everyone there. Like, this is one of those bachelorette parties where it's like, there's childhood friends, there's college friends, there's high school people, and like, so there's like multiple groups.
So many groups. Yeah. So, needless to say, they were not aware. Wow. You never know, though. You sometimes just have to throw it out there because there are many of us. It is the number one ship, I think, or like the number 2 ship on AO3. So, there are many Wolfstar shippers out there. We just have to find them. And they were not at that bachelorette party.
Yeah. All right. But also transitioning to our main conversation.
Yeah.
Also at that bachelorette party, we were both reading Onyx Storm during, I mean, we were pretty busy like planning and executing the bachelorette party, but then we finished the book. We were both finished the book while I was there visiting with you. I finished first, then you finished the next day.
Yes.
And I got to sit there and watch you finish the book.
Yes. And we did try to record an episode, just to be clear, and it did get completely just talked for an hour for nothing. So before I finished the book. But then we're like, oh, well, that got deleted. Might as well wait until we can
we weren't going to do an Onyx Storm recap for sure.
Yeah.
But then when we lost our other episode, which we'll never re-record because I don't want to talk about it again.
Yeah, that is so annoying to me. I hate repeating myself. So
yeah. We were going to do a ROMAntasy episode, and that's not going to happen unless it's a long time from now. But
yeah,
we decided we're just going to do a recap of this book because we only had like, the night you finished the book the night, like last night there, before and you drove me to the airport at like 6 a.m. So
yeah, not a lot of time to theorize, and I've had a lot of time to think about it since then and process. So I'm ready.
So obviously, spoilers ahoy.
Many.
If you even have any remote interest in reading the series, just stop listening.
Yeah.
It's worth it to just don't listen to us talk about it. Go read it.
Yeah. Do you think, like, for my mom, should we recap the first 2 books very, very briefly so there's some context for what we're discussing? Yes. For those people, Mom, who are never going to read this book but would love to listen to the episode?
If you're in that sweet spot, here you go. And if you want to skip the recap... ahead 30 seconds. Go.
Okay. So basically, I'm going big strokes here. Violet, she has a disability that makes her kind of loosey-goosey with the joints and a little bit weak. And she's studying to be a scribe her whole life, which is like librarian. But then her mom, who is like the war general of all the land, forces her to go into the Dragon Riders Quadrant, and you know, she has to go to this magical dragon school where, like, most people die, which I would love to talk more about how problematic that is. And she somehow does okay and ends up bonding to not one but two dragons. One of them's like the biggest dragon, like the dragon, and the other one's this little baby weirdo dragon. Those are Taryn and Andarna. And she also falls in love with her mated dragons rider, who is Xaden. They're like an enemies to lovers thing because her mom did kind of kill his dad and also lashed him like 107 times, like lots of lashes.
There's a bunch of like political stuff going on.
Yeah. Who cares? They fall in love. Blah, blah, blah. Then a bunch of things happen. They're at war against these evil guys called Venin, who instead of channeling magic through dragons, they channel directly from the earth, which is a big no-no. And it turns you evil. It's kind of like making a Horcrux in Harry Potter. Like, it takes your soul away.
Every time you do it, you give away some of your soul.
Yeah. And they pair up with these Griffin riders who they kind of don't like, but they kind of have to form an alliance with. Xaden's ex-girlfriend's there. Violet's brother's secretly alive. And at the end of book 2, Xaden, in order to like save the world, has to low-key channel, and he becomes Venin, which is really bad. And so this book opens with Violet kind of trying to deal with the ramifications of that. Also, her mom died. So
in the act of heroism.
Anything missing? Oh, and every single dragon rider has like a secret power given to them by their dragons. And I guess it's not secret, but just a power. And
some of them are secret.
Some of them are secret. And Violet can wield lightning, and Xaden can manipulate shadows. And you find out at the end of the second book as well that he can read minds, which is really bad. And they'll kill you if they know about that. So don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Great recap, Kelly.
Thank you.
That was really helpful.
Probably so lost if you know. But we're going to try to get into it now.
Okay.
So let's just start.
Jinx.
What did you think about the prologue of this book? Like, what was the
prologue again? When she's following him down the thing?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I really liked that it picked up right where Iron Flame left off.
Yes.
Immediately.
I agree.
Because you know what? Hold on. Let me grab my book really quick.
Please do.
All right. I'm back. Actually, okay. The first thing I noticed about this book was the map.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure I remember Rebecca Yarros saying that the map changes as Violet's understanding of the continent changes.
Sure.
So there was like additions here, like places that she'd been before that, like the map is a reflection of her understanding of this world.
Right.
So that was the first thing I paid close attention to.
Yeah.
Was the map. And then also I really appreciated in the book, she listed like people who they're mated to. I mean, what dragons are bonded to, and what their signet is, which I really appreciated. Helps you keep track of stuff. Yeah,
could have used even more names on that list, respectfully.
Yeah, I guess these were like the known characters.
The
did not reflect new characters, really.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so prologue. So Iron Flame ends with a chapter from Xaden's perspective.
Yes.
And he's like going down in Basgiath down to the place where Jack Barlow, who is the other known Venin. Yeah. And I say known because it's implied heavily that there are other like sneaky undercover Venin at Basgiath.
Yeah.
And so he goes down there because he wants to talk to him and be like, how do you find a cure or whatever? So the prologue to this book is that Violet is actually following behind him this whole time.
Yeah.
And she's like watching him or whatever. And she's like talking to Andarna via their mental bond, which I really appreciated. Because Andarna is a lot more forgiving about Xaden's situation than Taryn is.
Sure.
It was hilarious because Taryn keeps calling him the Dark One.
I love that.
Which is so funny. Love him.
Yes.
But Andarna is like more compassionate. And basically like Jack's like, there is no cure. What are you talking about?
People keep telling her that, but she will not take no for an answer at all. And
it's very much Michael Scott Fun Run Pro-Am.
for the cure.
I forget what's the whole thing he says. Michael Scott.
It's like the Michael Scott 5K.
Michael
rabies.
Scott 5K name. Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Pro-Am Fun Run Race for the Cure. Race.
That's what Violet's doing. For the cure. That is what Violet's doing, trying to find this cure that literally everyone in this entire book will tell her does not exist and is impossible. And I'm starting to get worried that they might be right, to be frank. Although I think there has to be a cure, obviously.
TBH. Also, at this point, like, not right after, but then chapter 1 picks up 2 weeks later, and like the Xaden's inner circle knows about the venonness.
Yeah.
So the other marked ones, Basgiath, Imogen, Garrick.
Not everyone knows.
Bodhi. Is that it?
I think that's pretty much it at this point.
Okay.
If I can remember. Yeah, and I think this opening reminded me so much of like a season premiere of a TV show because like that to me is such like a classic like season opener when you've been left on a cliffhanger in the previous season, you've waited, then there's going to be like this moment of like intense action, and then either there's like a flashback that will explain that or a flash forward that we're going to like keep the story moving. But I really liked how it just threw you right back in there of like, and it gives you some, because it's such an intense cliffhanger, it gives you some immediate like relief of like, okay, here's what they're gonna do.
Like he's actually like stable at least for the moment.
Yeah, he's not like on a rampage. He's okay, but you know he's trying to find Jack or whatever. So I did like that, and I didn't expect that not everyone would immediately know. I thought it would like. I didn't know that the red could fade away, so that was interesting. Like when you become Venom, your eyes turn red, but if you don't keep channeling right away, they'll kind of fade until you make it to like level 2, and like it's kind of like an MLM of Venom, low-key. There's like different tiers you can make it to.
So the tiers are when you first like all it takes is one time channeling from the earth and you're an initiate,
which is crazy, by the way. I feel like you should get one strike at least, and then after that don't do it again, you'll become Venom, you know?
Right. So he like channels from the earth, he's an initiate, and like part of the thing that happens when you're an initiate that we learned from this book in the early chapters is that you're drawn and you like can sense the other Venom and they can sense you because you're like supposed to find each other so that you can basically get like in the Venom downline if we're using MLM analogy.
But they can only sense other initiates. That's right. They can't necessarily That's kind of what Jack was implying. Like you can sense them once they're initiates, or maybe the second level too. But like once they become sages, you can't sense them anymore. Maybe. Like there could, because the implication is that there could be people who are Venom that Xaden wouldn't know.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think you're right then.
Basgiath, yeah.
So it goes initiate and then Asim, Asim.
I was saying Asim. Yeah, Asim. In my mind.
Then Sage and then Maeve. So when another thing we quickly learn in this book is what they didn't already know, which is that at the higher levels of Venom can actually wield signets. Like they have powers.
They also have powers,
which is a little bit scary because they don't really know how to fight them. They know a couple ways that they die. Like they die from these alloyed daggers. Yeah. And, Violet can kill them with lightning. Yeah. But
they're very difficult to fight other than that. And something interesting is like, okay, you know how it's like, the moral arc of the universe spins towards justice or whatever. This universe is not like that because every time there's one person on the good side with the power, one person on the bad side gets an equal power. And it's like, okay, so who's the magic rooting for? It seems like neither, because why are they evenly matched, you know?
Right.
If the Venom are so bad for the magic, if it's like so bad, why is it giving them powers? You know, like I have a lot of questions about that as well. Okay, so yeah,
I do too.
So Violet basically decides she's going to go on a mission, low key, to find a cure for Xaden, and they also need to find more of Indarna's kind of dragon, which she has been like one of the only ones who figured out that is not one of the 6 established types of dragons. That there's a 7th kind, and that is absolutely critical for the wards that like protect their land from the Venin. So that's like one of the only ways to keep them at bay.
So one of the big revelations at the end of Iron Flame was that they were trying to get these magical wards back up that protect the dragon like hatching grounds from the Venin.
Right. And
they figured out that it wasn't working because they had to have a 7th dragon, Andarna's breed, to fire them.
Right.
And her breed, we learn early in the book, is called the Irids, short for iridescent.
Yes.
Because they can like kind of like a chameleon, like shift color and take on the color of the atmosphere around them.
Yeah. That's it.
And simultaneously, what's happening as soon as like all this stuff happens, at the end of Iron Flame, the way they're able to protect the hatching grounds, save Basgiath, and like refire the wards was by bringing over some of the like defector riders, the ones who had left and like fled to Eratia, which is part of Tyrandor.
Yes.
They had to come back. They also brought Griffin riders to help, who are from the neighboring kingdom Poromiel, who like Navarre has been at war with. And so we have all of these people who are like not on the same side. And now all their leaders are trying to like get together and within like a couple of weeks try and establish some sort of like pact. What is that called? An accord.
Alliance.
Some kind of treaty.
Yeah, accord. Yes.
That like negotiates how they're going to operate together, who gets to be where, what gets to happen, who's going to teach at the school, etc.
Man, so much happens in this book because I'm like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about this whole like subplot where Violet's like, what does she even do? She sneaks in somewhere, she does something bad, and then the accords are signed, so then somehow she's free. She doesn't like get in trouble.
Yeah, she there's like tons. This book is like the book of side quests.
Yes.
But let me pull up my story graph. So essentially,
good call. Good call.
Early on, when they're still trying to figure out the accords, a couple of big things happen. Yeah. One of which is that Xaden becomes the Duke of Tyrandor. So he's now on this thing. So Violet knows, she like predicts that there's going to be this situation where they're going to like offer forgiveness and like immunity to the Eratia riders, the ones who like left in Iron Flame and then came back to help defend Basgiath. She's knew that they were going to be absolved and like forgiven for defecting to Eratia and coming back, but she knew that was going to happen like the next morning. So she knew she would be absolved of punishment if Xaden were able to sign the accords that would pardon the Eratian riot and allow them back into Basgiath at 8 a.m. the next morning. So she committed treason before 8 a.m. And she did that by going down to the wards and she like removed her
doing stuff
lightning
with
wielder.
the runes. Yeah.
Yes. What was she doing?
Okay. Something with the runes.
Yeah, she was like getting some runes for something, and she left her like lightning wielder patch, and so that nobody else could
they would
be
know
accused.
It was her.
They would know it was her.
So through the they had pardoned them. Yeah. So since she had done it before the pardon, it was technically included in the pardon. Yeah. But she did it late enough that she wasn't caught before the pardon was signed. So therefore, that's why she didn't get in trouble.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have all this stuff going on. She's trying to figure out. Also, like, they have these accords signed, and then she's like, okay, let me negotiate. Like, I need a squad, essentially. Like, I need to be able to lead my own mission. We need to go look for the 7th dragon breed. You guys are on board with that because now I've explained to you that we need the 7th breed of dragon to fire the wards.
Right. And
you know that
been proven.
It exists now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, it's a mutually beneficial situation because, like, the council, the war council, the big bosses,
right?
They want... they need additional soldiers for an army. Okay. And so they want Violet to lead a mission of other folks to go out to these like islands that surround the continent that Navarre is part of and like recruit them to help fight against the Venin.
Right. So she's like, I'll do that if you let me take my squad to also look for the Irids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the same time, interesting variable, there's like 2 interesting variables going on. One, Prince Halden, who is Aric's brother, rolls up and turns out he's Violet's ex-boyfriend. And then second thing that happens is that Xaden is like, one time they were doing it and he almost channeled on accident.
Yeah.
And he was like, we can't touch anymore because I can't lose control because I can't channel anymore.
Yeah, because I'll channel you, which is bad. And
yeah,
he's also a professor, and they are not allowed to
fraternize,
date.
Yes.
Which seems like a good rule, but it does feel like maybe there could be like a grandfathering in policy if you were already together. Like, what if, I don't know, what if you were married? Would they just be like, sorry, you're divorced now? Like,
well,
obviously that would be a rare.
Would be fine, but like, part of it also is that Dane's dad, General Atos, is now, since Violet's mom died, is now like the general of Besgaiath. And he has like a vendetta against Violet. So it's all part of it.
Yeah.
So this is actually really cool. And I'm glad that she used the venonness and the professor situation as a way to drive a wedge between them and to create tension without them like breaking up again.
Yeah, because it's so hard to do that. I totally understand why people break up, you know, like romantic pairings, because the tension is like an important part of it. And, you know, you have to like keep the plot moving forward. And so if they're just together and happy go lucky, then there's no like personal element to it. It's only going to be the like fantasy stuff, but you need the Roma stuff, you know, not of the romantasy. And so I think that was like really
That's dumb.
Sorry. But you know, like, because romance books follow a certain structure of like there's obstacles and then they get together, and to keep repeating that for 3 books, you have to like either break them up or introduce another love interest or do something more interesting and more fun to read, which is you know, he's slowly losing parts of his soul, and also he's your teacher.
Yes. And so this is the teacher thing I really liked. So essentially, because they learned that the Venom can have powers, like none of the students at Besgaiath have ever learned how to fight against other signets, because they had been trained up to that point to fight Griffin riders who don't have significant
magic like this. Yeah.
And so they had to bring Xaden in to train the students on how to fight against other signets. And so
I thought that was interesting.
It's really fun. And there's this really fun scene where he like blacks out, like he has like having to fight her.
Yeah.
And he like blacks out the whole thing and then is like goes up right next to her and like talks to her. And I was like, hello, hello. But yeah, it's fun. And but then also like at the same time he says something really dark. He's like, why do you, like, you know, they're talking like mentally. Yeah. And she was like, you know, why do I need to know how to kill you? Like, why he says something like, you're the one who has to know how to kill me because you're the only one who can, because he's really worried that she's going to have to kill him at some point when he goes full venom.
Yeah. And he's like, you're the one who will know if I'm, you know, and that's kind of like an interesting through line in this book, because later, of course, I'm skipping way ahead, but she has this conversation with Riddick. And he's like, I just need you to tell me that there's a line, like that he could do something that would make you kill him or turn against him. Because if you don't have a line, then I can't trust you. But if you can tell me that there's a point that he could reach where you would realize that he's a danger or whatever, then I can keep it a secret. And conversation. I thought that was just such an interesting like continuity from the beginning of.
I think.
Okay, are you having some theories?
Well, like as you're saying that, okay, I'm gonna park a parking lot.
Yeah,
parking lot that we'll come back to it later.
Okay.
So, but following
speaking
the plot,
of this whole stuff, this is like I just posted on Instagram today, but and I said this to you, but this is one of my takeaways. I love yearning, as you guys know. This was like an overwhelming amount of yearning in this book that it was to the point where even I was like, is this too much? Like, is this too much yearning? What? But no, I loved it.
Because there was enough times that they were like, no, like we'll just break the rules or
I don't care.
Special situations. But also another fun thing is that having channeled from the earth a couple of times at this point, because he does have one slip up early in the book, I think.
Yeah.
It kind of like has an effect like roid rage, right? Like So he's like less in control of his emotions.
Yeah.
But not in a gross way. I don't know. But whenever like Prince Halden like shows up in the cut, he's like making jokes about how he's like boned Violet in the past.
Yep.
And he like Xaden is so like PO'd. But
jealous.
not I don't even know how to explain it.
Well, he does throw him against a wall using his shadows, so
oh, that was fun. But I like it for some reason. It didn't seem like this is my woman kind of thing.
No.
It was just
it's just like, look, Xaden behaves
like
in such
protect
a way.
me, but like not in a gross like hyper masculine way, but like in a
because he doesn't say anything.
Like,
he doesn't say "Don't touch my girl." He
Yeah.
just sees him touching Violet, and he just throws him against a wall. And then he's like, "Oh, my bad. Like I thought, there was a bug on you or whatever." But he doesn't say that. But it's like if he said like, "Get your hands off my woman," then it'd be like, "Oh, Xaden, why?" But because he's just like, it's like the low key nature of it that like we were talking about this. The like hottest thing that Xaden has ever done is at the beginning, they're all like, "Hey, I think you should stop sleeping in Xaden's bed. Like, low key, he's a venom. He could channel you in your sleep." And he's just like, "No, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to like kick her out,
Also, like, don't ever think about telling, like, Violet gets to choose who sleeps in her bed, not
like,
you.
don't tell her what to do. That was and
hot.
if she tells me to go, of course I'll go. But like,
okay,
no,
because this is the Redirect podcast, and on this podcast we shift the conversation back to Twilight. Do you remember? At least in the movie, I don't know if this is in the book. It's so good that it must not have been in the book because the books are so bad.
Like, no way Stephanie Meyer wrote this.
In Eclipse,
yeah,
after like. After Edward went away with like the fam to like hunt or something, and like Jacob was on babysitting duty or whatever, and then like he kisses her or whatever.
Yes.
Then like they go to do like the divorced parent meetup in like the Chili's parking lot situation where then like Bella has to get out of the car and then whatever, and then Edward immediately reads Jacob's mind and he knows that he kissed her and then Bella punched him.
Yeah.
He runs up to him. He's like, "If you ever touch her against her will again." And it's like the hottest thing that Edward Cullen ever did.
Yeah, because it's like if she had asked, he would be that mad. He would be like consent.
Extremely depresso.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be mad.
He wouldn't. Yes.
But like because he did it without her consent, he's mad. So yeah, I agree with you. It's the same energy.
Like he's also like, she wanted it or whatever. He's like, "Here's a clue. Let her say the words." And because then at the end of Eclipse, there's like the
unfortunately
payoff.
She does say the words.
Anyways, I think
we love it.
Unfortunately, I do think that Rebecca Yarros might be a twihard.
Yeah. Isn't she Mormon? Am I making that up?
No, don't know.
Rebecca Yarros
There's
Mormon?
no way.
I'm like pretty sure.
No way.
Let me Google that. She definitely is Mormon.
Oh my god, no, what?
I'm just dead serious.
She's a suspected ex-Mormon.
Okay, but in the Fourth Wing, in the acknowledgments, it does say, "I would like to thank my Lord and Savior." So it's not like she's recent ex. Okay. Skip past that. What I'm saying is she's definitely a twihard.
Yeah, she loves Twilight. For sure.
As we all do. As we do as well. This is like if Stephanie Meyer had just tapped into a little bit more like, sexiness in her books, she would have really she already popped off with the money making machine, but can you imagine?
Yeah. Also Rebecca Yarros is just a girly. Like, she loves Twilight, probably.
She loves Taylor Swift, for sure. Yes,
confirmed. Like, her playlist that she released, I was like, oh, like, you are fully a Gen X girly.
Yeah, you're just a girl.
The song that sent me, I was like, honestly, I don't even think that someone from her team made this playlist. Like, I think she did.
I believe that she really does it. Yeah,
because
totally.
It has just enough, like, elder millennial to Gen X cringe
Yes.
But in like the most endearing, like, don't hear me say that in like a negative way. Like, I think she's just being so true to her. But the song that really tipped me off was that she put Chains by Nick Jonas on there.
Yes.
Trying to break the chains, but the chains only break me. And I was like, yeah, you made this.
Yeah. I believe that. Yeah, that was not a publicist.
Yeah. All right, back to the book.
We love Xaden, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we love him so much. And
there's just something about like a conflicted, like, also it is giving Twilight, because it's like, I don't want to kiss you because I could hurt you. Mm-hmm. It's like the tension, like, I don't want to hurt you, but I'm yearning for you. I love it. Okay,
but
so
it's just
they're
like,
going on their little quest.
Well, the big question was, what are they going to do? Like, is she going to go to Dane in this book? And this is so much better. It's like there's like these legitimate, real things that they have to overcome.
Can I just say though? Okay, and I might music this out. I probably will, but. Like, what them shadows do? Like, why
Elastigirl. You know what I mean? Or like and the Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to at least leave in what them shadows do, and then you can music it out.
Okay.
Anyways, they go on their first side quest, which is they're going to go to this island.
They go on so many side quests. Yeah, I'm sorry that I cannot recall. I recall some instances, but like each individual island, I'm sorry, I don't know.
The main big thing is that when they go to these islands, there's not magic there. Yeah. So the magic is tied to the land because that's where the dragon hatching grounds are.
Right.
And so, like, we find out a very important piece of information that we don't really understand yet, but we hopefully will in the future, that the dragons were not able to communicate. Like, Taryn and Sigale were not able to mentally communicate. Yeah, and then the other writers were not able to communicate with their dragons. And Violet was not able to mentally communicate with Xaden. But Violet could communicate with Taryn and Indarna. And we don't know why.
Yes, that was weird. Yeah. It seems like it must have something to do with Indarna. Because she's so different, but I don't know. It was odd.
Also, like, I think she was able to wield a little bit. It wasn't confirmed, but there was a couple of instances where there was like lightning when she was really upset or angry.
Yes.
And it was like, no, it was written off like, oh no, there's no magic here. How could I have done that? But she did. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, that was just a storm, but it was a little too suspicious.
Yeah. Also, the folks that went with them on this thing are Xaden, Mira, Riddick, Dane, and Prince Halden. And wasn't Kat there?
Kat was there. Also Traeger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go and they're at a. Oh no! This is why, Emily. Okay. It's King Lucerys now. So the Duke last time becomes the king.
Yes.
And he becomes the Duke.
Yes.
And they're at his house, they're vibing, and Prince Halden is there because he's supposed to be like the royal emissary to the people on these islands.
Right.
He goes to talk to the king of this place, and he just totally like messes everything up. And he does a horrible job. Xaden and Violet have to go save him. There's like a bunch of like panthers or something.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But basically what they learned from there is like the reason that this part of the book was critical was because it was a huge failure from Prince Halden. He gets kicked off the mission after the next time. New people get brought on. And there's like a couple people who died because they like messed up. Yeah. And so like we dropped a few people, whatever. So, okay, he's off. And that means that Arik, who is like the secret undercover other prince, he's going to come in for the next mission. We also learn Indarna's kind is not on this island.
Also, Xaden channels on Deverelli. And after that, he has to go into hiding for a couple weeks to not show his
Oh.
eyeballs.
He channeled from there's no magic there. So he was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm chill. I'm not going to channel here. I can't channel here. I can't channel from the ground.
Yeah.
But he channels from Violet's conduit
Yeah. Yeah. Her little
to save her.
thing she has. Boo. Sad. Also, this makes me wonder, speaking of Twilight, like, imagine if there had been a subplot in Twilight where there was, like, somewhere they could go where Edward was, like, momentarily human. That would have been so interesting.
That would have been crazy. I don't even.
But that's like the same. That's like the same, comparison. If you haven't read these books, it's like he gets a reprieve from like feeling dangerous, and he's like
visibly
so
lighter.
happy. It's so
and Dane's
sad.
there too.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on these things with them.
So
then they go back to Basgiath for a while.
They do.
Then back out.
And then they basically decide this is taking way too much time. We have to get a better crew together. Arik is coming with us this time. And
because Halden sucks.
Halden is staying here because he messed everything up. And not only that, but we're going to now disobey direct orders. And instead of like the people in charge think that we're just going to go to the next island and then come back again like we're supposed to do. But we're not doing that. We're packing extra and we're going island to island, and they're just not going to be able to be mad at us because when we get back, we'll have found the Irids.
Yeah.
So they go off on this quest. We learn also from the outer islands that each of the outer islands, like, they focus on one of the gods. And so they each have their own characteristics. So there's like one that's like
these are crazy,
worships Dune, who is the goddess of war.
Yes.
What is very peculiar about that, Emily?
Okay, so when they go to this island, everyone on this island who are like in the temple or whatever of Dune, they have silver hair, which Violet has silver hair. She has like half silver, half brown hair.
And she sees
she sees a young girl who has hair exactly like hers, and she's like, that seems peculiar because I've never seen anyone with my hair like this. And I saw someone on TikTok, by the way, say like Violet's supposed to be super smart, and like Taryn is repeatedly like, I chose you because you're so smart, and like she was studying to be described, but honestly, girl does not ask any follow-up questions.
This did not click at all.
like critical thinking is not the best, so that's a little bit of a plot hole. But you know what? We'll forgive you, Rebecca. But it is true. Violet does not ask any follow-up questions. She's just like pure vibes, and she's like, "Wow, that's weird. Never seen anyone with hair like mine. Oh well." Come back to that later.
Was crazy. And like then like Dane and Xaden and Violet all have to like to have a one-on-one match. Like there's at each of these islands, it's kind of fun because it's like there's depending on like the characteristic of the god that the island worships, they have like different criteria for how they're able to get an audience with their head of state. So for this one, it's like they had to win a match, and then there's another one where they have to like win a knowledge thing. Yeah,
it's like a tricky test.
Yes, and that's also where Xaden sees his mother, who abandoned him when he was 10 years old, and he finds out he has two half-brothers.
So much happens in this book.
And then they go to a place that the island of Zinal, which is the god of luck, and
did not like this one.
Everybody has to go up there and like they get a gift, and some of them are good and some of them are bad, but it's like, can you be grateful no matter what gift you get?
Yeah.
And I think that there may be some hidden meaning here behind the gifts that they all get. I don't know. But
sure
also
there is some kind of symbolism.
Somebody, Drake, I guess, I
thought
gets
it was
a little
Traeger.
Cat named Broccoli.
Oh,
Traeger dies.
Cat. Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Dane gets punched.
Yeah, that was hilarious. You're just having a good time. You're like, these are dumb. Haha, he gets punched in the face. And then all of a sudden, Traeger, who's like falling for Kat, who's Xaden's ex. So you're like, wow, she can finally move on. Yeah. He's just like murdered in cold blood. That's not a gift, guys. Like, by the way. Yeah. What's really interesting is throughout these little side quests, Violet has received earlier in the book these like, this diaries from her dad, and he's like giving. I know there's so much that happens in this freaking book. He's giving her like little hints about what to expect. I do think this was a little bit of a letdown, and I'm gonna need more because I'm like, her dad and his like knowledge of the truth has been really played up, and then I felt like the information he was able to give was really, it seemed to me like, oh, she probably could have found this out on her own. Like, none of it necessarily seemed like super insightful
also,
to this point.
I get that he was trying to protect the information, but it was all so cryptic. And then it was like, part of it is like they had to go to one of these islands and go into a bookstore, and then she had to pass like a riddle. And it's like, okay, well, what if the old lady who knows the answer to the riddle is dead by the time the pilot gets there?
Yeah, because I think in the book it says she's like 96.
It's
like straight up. What is the lifespan of these people?
Depending on a lot of things working out. And
this is like mission critical for the survival of your entire like kingdom and race of people and universe. And you're like really relying on your, at the time, very young daughter and very old lady connecting. Like, there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong. So I need more from her dad, you know, in the future books.
Another thing about the whole thing with the dad is that he gave the journals only to Violet.
Right.
And that causes a wedge between she and Mira. And so Mira decides to take some personal leave and go visit their grandmother randomly, and she finds out from the grandmother that when Violet, so what we have been told to this point about why Violet has this illness and why she has this like gray hair is that her mother had a sickness, like some kind of virus when she was pregnant with her that caused her to have this joint weakness and the silver hair.
Yeah.
What we have learned is that when she was a young child, her father absconded with her to the island of Dune and to have her basically like, he didn't fully dedicate her to the temple, but he had her like touched by the priestesses.
Yeah.
And we don't know why still.
Yeah. So, okay.
And we find out from her mother's journals that she was really mad about it.
Yeah, she didn't want this. Here's my understanding from what I've read and from what you explained to me and from reading this book, which, why do I have to Google so much to understand what happened in this book? I don't know. But like, okay, this is the series of events as I understand them, with, of course, knowing that there's more we don't know. She's born with these conditions. Her dad is concerned, and so he takes her to the Temple of Dune. When he goes there, he starts to dedicate her because this part I don't really necessarily understand. Maybe this is something we just don't know. I don't understand if he took her there because there was something foretold that, you know, the heart that beats for her will turn Venin or whatever. And like she has multiple. Yeah, because basically it said she has on this side quest as well. She has multiple paths she could go down. And he takes her there. I think he takes her there because she's sick. And then she starts to get touched. And then they tell the dad, she has multiple paths she can go down. If you fully seal her to Dune, then that closes off the other paths, and she will only serve Dune or whatever. Like, she will stay on this path. But if you don't fully seal her, then she can still choose these different paths, and one of them, maybe the heart that beats for her, turns Venin. That's my understanding. And so then he decides not to fully seal her so that she can choose, I guess, which path she's going to go down, versus like if he had fully committed her, she would be full silver hair and she couldn't choose these other paths.
So he has some sort of wisdom that we don't necessarily, has not been fully revealed to us or understood by us.
Correct. Yes.
If it has been revealed, that she needs to have this option open for these different paths. Right. And maybe part of it is likely, hopefully, the eradication of Venin from the continent.
You would think, because another thing is, in one of the epigraphs, there's like a recovered letter from Violet's dad to Violet's mom, where he's like, I've been looking into this Venin thing like you told me to, and there's no cure, only control. And it's like, why was she looking into that? Why was he looking into that for her? You know, like, what did she want with that information? Because Violet's mom is very much someone, or was, R.I.P., who, like, why would she care about curing them? Like, she would just purely want to kill them. But there has to be some reason at some point why she wanted to cure Venin. And so, was someone in her life? Was she? Who knows?
There's some things that are unknown still.
Yeah.
The biggest
here, I wanted to have one like meta conversation. If there's a prophecy regarding you, don't you feel like you have a right to know about it? Harry Potter, free Violet. In this case, do you feel like it would have changed anything if she had known the heart?
Well, the prophecy came from the people of Dune, right?
Right. But like her mom allegedly would have known about this, and her dad. Do you feel like they should have told her?
I would want to know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I feel like there's got to be like an age of accountability.
Right.
Like, I don't want to know too young because I don't want that to
Right.
be like a self-fulfilling prophecy about my life.
Exactly.
But when I'm old enough to start making decisions about what's right and wrong, I feel like I deserve that information.
I agree. So it's just fascinating that people don't, tell people that there's a prophecy made about their life. And we're in book 3 and we're just now finding out about this.
Yeah.
Anyways, that part was very confusing to me. So I'm assuming it's because we just don't have all the information.
I think it's meant to be a little confusing because we're not supposed to have all the information yet.
Great. Love it.
The biggest thing that happens on this side quest is that they do find the Irids.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the Irids
was so sad.
Are like, hey, we left Andarna's egg there as a test to see if you guys could like get your shit together and not try and kill each other all the time, because our dragon breed is all about peace. And then look what you did. She hatched and now she's just one of you. And look what she's done. She's bonded herself to the like, they're really like the haters, and they think that Violet is bad because she bonded like a hatchling, like a baby,
and channeled her magic, and that kind of delayed her ability to grow. And now she's like not properly grown.
But Andarna is like really upset, obviously.
Yeah, and like, I chose her, you losers. And
also, Violet had no idea I was a baby, and even if she did, there's nothing she could have done about it.
Yeah.
But we also find out a very interesting wrinkle here, which is that most other dragon breeds, or all other dragon breeds, can't also bond another bonded rider. The only reason that Andarna was able to bond Violet after Taryn had bonded her was because of her being an Irid, and it's a special ability exclusive to the Irids. Is that they have the special ability to bend, break, or create new bonds.
Which seems like it would be very important.
So they just leave. And then the group is like, sad. I guess we'll peace out. And Andarna's super depresso.
Yeah.
And
it's like, that this is a 5-book series and like things can't possibly be good because there has to be 2 more books.
It can't just be good always.
This was like so devastating because it's like Andarna like was looking for her family, and then they just were like, you actually suck as a dragon.
And she's like, Violet loves me. She would never. I was like, oh my gosh.
And then it's like they are literally critical to have wards, and now they're like, nah, we're not helping you. So it's like, well, the wards are doomed. And also they are so interesting because it's like they don't seem to really care, like, if the Venin win. They're like, maybe that's what you guys deserve. So it's just really interesting. Like, I would love to hear more from the Irids. I feel like the dragons as a whole have a more, like, have some, obviously, longevity. Like, they're old, like, they live longer. But they also, like, seem to have a more historical view of things. So I'm just interested of, like, what do they know about where the Venin came from, how this all started, the original war that happened 600 years ago. Like, what's informing their perspective that, like, war is not the answer?
They have a lot of knowledge that they don't think that humans are worthy of.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially. So, heartbroken and defeated, they go back, they start flying home back to Basgiath with the commitment of a couple of different armies and, like, the rights to, like, land on their island as, like, a launching point to go somewhere else. But no Irids. Yeah. Then there's a huge plot loophole that just is easily closed by a very convenient thing, which, whatever. Which is that because Arik was on the mission, who was like the missing prince, his dad is just so happy to have him back that he's like, you guys are all forgiven. It's all
that was a bit too convenient for me. Just a bit. Like, just a bit.
Okay, so you guys aren't, because they kept being like, we're disobeying direct orders. We're gonna be court-martialed. All of a sudden they get back and then it's just like, it's okay, like, bestie. Pays to have rich friends.
Yeah.
So
that's key. Befriend a prince.
They're all kind of like depressed for a week or two. They're hanging out, and then it's about time for the students of Basgiath to make their rotation back at Erasia, because part of the agreement that they made at the beginning of the book was that students would still cycle back and forth between Bisgayeth and Eratia to learn about runes and other Romish magics.
Yeah.
And stuff really goes off there.
Yeah. Yeah.
While they're there is a battle.
Yes.
Also, we have failed to mention this entire time, we're almost to the end of the book, that there is a special silver-haired Venin that is like chasing Violet around.
She's just there. She's
her name is Theophany.
It's giving Victoria.
She's constantly chasing her, and they think that she's a lightning wielder. She's like a Venin lightning wielder. She's like the match to Violet's power. And she's like always trying. She says explicitly that they don't want to kill Violet. They do want to capture her though. And they really want her to become a Venin.
Yeah. Okay. That has been driving me crazy because I need to know why. I don't think it's just explained by them wanting her signet. I don't think that's the only reason, because Theophany or whatever, she's a more powerful wielder than Violet. So like, I don't think that matters enough to them. I think there has to be some other reason that they want Violet to be Venin, and I don't know why, but I just I have no theories, honestly. I just feel like maybe there is a prophecy about Violet that's like whatever side she's on will win the war ultimately, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know what it is though. They really don't want. I mean, if we're being dumb and you know the answer to this and you're screaming at your phone right now, like just let us know.
Yeah.
Like what it is.
I googled this though. I do think the explanation given is that they want her signet on their side, but they're so adamant from last book to this book. Like, they have been saying every time they've run into her, like, no, we can't kill that one. You know, like, bring her alive. They want her alive. Like, the sage wants to see her or whatever. So I feel like there has to be a reason why they want her to come to their side.
There's a battle going on. There's like, she's chasing Violet around, and then hope is almost lost.
Yeah. It's like looking really bleak.
It's looking like really, really bad. Everyone is like down for the count. Taryn is wounded, is unable to fly around.
I was scared.
Oh my God, don't even get me started. It's like all very scary. And then all of a sudden the Irids show up.
Yeah.
Because some of the Irids, there was like a couple of their number that were like, oh wait, like Violet didn't know that she was a baby. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So they come, they save them, and something weird happens. Theophany like either sees them or she sees something else, and she like gets really scared and runs away.
Yeah.
So that's
my understanding with that was that she knew the wards were about to be repowered and they would die if they were in the wards. But I could be wrong. There could be another reason. But yeah, like the what do they ride? The wyvern. They start falling from the sky and everything's good.
Oh, because the Irids show up. They refire the wards. A bunch of the wyvern die, and then a very, very sad thing happens, which is that
it's so sad.
The Irids are talking to Andarna and Violet, and they're like, Andarna, you should come back with us and learn our ways and whatever. And like, you could come back later and bond her again, but like, you would have to come by yourself. There's no humans.
You have stuff to learn. And so
she does it. And she breaks the bond with Violet, and she leaves with them.
It was so sad. And then Violet's all depressed.
It really, really hard.
Because I guess it's like, painful. If a dragon severs your bond, it seems like it sucks real bad. Yeah. And
like literally like a day or two before this, a huge thing happens, which is that Violet and Xaden discover that Violet's second signet that she's manifesting from Andarna is that she's a dream walker. So she can like
crazy.
Be in other people's dreams, and as long as they're unconscious. Like,
that's the understanding so far, yeah.
Is that like she can go in their dreams and she feels like she's seeing them, but like if she is aware of it, then she can like separate herself and then participate in their dream.
Yes.
It's like huge deal.
Which this whole time I assumed, since she started having these dreams, pretty much, I thought she's in Xaden's dream somehow. But I thought it was just like their bond or like their mental connection, or he was like projecting that somehow.
Or like Voldemort,
Yeah. No,
Voldemort
literally.
Harry thing.
Like, yeah. Like, they were just so bonded. But the fact that she can do it with anyone's dreams is kind of crazy. And I did not see that coming. That
Would
was
you
a big
like to have
twist.
that signet?
No.
Yeah, me
No. Because you might not like what you see. Like, people dream weird stuff.
I dream crazy stuff.
I barely want to be in
would not
my
want
own
to be
dreams.
judged on my dreams.
Exactly. Like, I dream the most random scenarios that I would be like, no, don't come walking
Sometimes
into
I
my
wake up
dream.
from my own dreams and I'm like,
what the heck was that?
Am I good?
Like, do I have some kind of sick, twisted mind? Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to go in other people's dreams.
So, okay. Avoided that, whatever. Violet is really sad. She's super down. She's like trying to get back up again. She has like some nice tender time with Xaden. He's comforting her. It's very sweet. Yeah. And then basically this big final battle happens. Theophany, who is the one who's been chasing her around, she kidnaps Mira.
Yeah.
And that really like is the first domino and like a catastrophic series of events.
Yeah.
So
it's not good.
Violet
it's downhill
goes
from here
with Brennan, and who else goes with them? No, I forget.
I don't know.
All right, they pull up, and she does kill Mira, or she does slit her throat. But then
that was
conveniently, Brennan is able to save her. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. That's dubious to me.
Yeah.
I think my personal theory is that Brennan might be a Venom.
That's my theory as well.
Mm-hmm. Because they're like the way that he was able to like channel enough power to mend her.
No. Dane's there because isn't this the part where Sloane has to like amplify?
She has to siphon power from
She's a siphon
Dane into
to
Brennan.
Give to Brennan.
So she's like,
so that
she has one hand on Dane, one hand on Brennan. She's supposed to be drawing power from Dane into Brennan so that he has enough power.
Because this part I have a lot of questions about, and I think it definitely is going to come back to mean something, because Sloane grabs Dane's wrist and says like, oh, someone like you should not have this much power or something. And it's like, as far as we know, Dane's signet hasn't progressed beyond just like being able to read people's minds by touching them. But I feel like there is more to his signet than we know, because she like specifically makes that comment, like, you have too much power.
Also, another factor here is that Sloane likely has a second signet that we don't know about, because she's also a Mark one, and all the Mark ones have second signets.
As has Bodhi.
And as has Angela.
Exactly. As has
Kevin. As has Dwight. As has Angela. Anyways, and the other thing that nobody's talking about online, and then I'm like screaming into the void, is that Rebecca makes a point of saying that like it didn't leave a mark, like, because in the past when Sloane has siphoned, it leaves like a mark on, and it didn't. And I think I'm like, it might be because Brennan was channeling enough power from the ground to save Mira, or it has something to do with Dane. I don't know, but I also think that Dane and Sloane are going to get together.
I could see that.
Or getting together currently. I
think that, and I think Brennan is the villain, like you said, because it's heavily implied as well towards the end that Xaden has some kind of brother who has turned Venom within their ranks that he doesn't know
that about. Knew about him being Venom, which Brennan did know.
Yes, and I think it's Brennan.
And no one seems to think this online. I feel like you and me are the only ones saying this. But like also, Brennan was alleged to have died by trying to save Naolin, who was Taryn's first rider.
He's got to still be alive out there somewhere, respectfully, as well.
Because he keeps getting brought up. He likely channeled.
Yes.
To save himself, like Jack did, which was set up in the first book. So I don't know if Brennan is a Venom or Naolin is a Venom, and he was the brother. I don't know what's going on, but I don't think Brennan is clean. And another reason I don't think that Brennan is clean is because all this shit always gets brought up about how Mira is sketchy and Brennan is perfect and all this stuff.
Yes. But we have actually no evidence that Mira's sketchy. She has been nothing but incredibly loyal.
As soon as she learned the truth,
cause.
she has been chill.
Yeah. Incredibly chill, incredibly loyal. But Brennan has like almost zero characteristics besides being a healer and being amazing and everyone loving him. And
yeah, I don't trust that.
Do you think Brennan and Nayland were lovers?
OMG.
That's my other theory. I think they were in love.
Oh my God.
And one of them like turned venin or something. And I think Nayland's still alive out there.
And he's protecting him? Shut up.
Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah. Those are my theories. Okay, so what happens at the end?
Okay, so this crazy final battle happens, and it is Mira gets kidnapped. Violet kills her with Andarna's help. So how she's able to kill her is because Arik gives her this like pack. She gets a package from Arik like right before she goes to meet up and like try and save Mira, and she doesn't open it, which drives me insane. Open it! Oh
Violet.
My God!
The critical thinking, like
he gave it to you right now. If it wasn't a big deal, he would have waited.
Yeah, he's not dumb.
Okay, so it's a piece of Dune's temple.
Yes,
like a shingle from the roof, and what she's able to put together about this shingle and whatever is that the old girl, Theophany, has silver hair because she was devoted to Dune's temple and she was a priestess of Dune. But when she became a venin, the priestesses kicked her out and she's not allowed to touch the temple again. And so she's able to actually kill her by like yeeting the piece of shingle into her.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's a tough battle though.
And it's a really tough battle. And Darna shows up right at the right moment. We still don't really know why she's back.
Shout out to the Redditor who made the comment that Andarna leaving was like the TikTok ban. She was gone for like a day. She just comes right back.
She was gone. She's back, but we have not had enough time to discuss that. And simultaneously, probably like a mile away.
Right
while
there.
Violet is in the fight of her life against Theophany and trying to kill her, and Darna shows up to help, and Taryn is caught in a net, and so is Sigale.
Yeah.
And Xaden is caught, and he is there's venin standing there, and he is you see from his perspective that there is another guy there who is his brother venin.
Yeah.
That person goes unidentified, but that the other venin are taking these special daggers and they are killing dragons. And he's about to go and kill Sigale. And Xaden is the chain of events that will happen if Sigale dies is that Taryn will then die, and then I will die and Violet will die.
Yeah.
So he does one really big channel.
Yeah.
In an Onyx Storm. Sends his shadows to go help Violet to kill everybody and free Sigale and all this stuff.
Feels crazy.
But this is really important. What happens when he's doing this?
He hears. So at the same time, we get both their perspectives. So while that's happening, Violet is fighting Theophany, and she just sends this telepathic message down their bond of I love you. And he is in the middle of his Onyx Storm, but in the middle of that, he hears I love you, and he's like, no, wait, I'm gonna, you know what I imagine? In I'm on my Severance beat now too. So, in
She's
Severance
alive!
episode that, but also in episode 1 when Milchek sends him back up the elevator and he thinks he's about to die. And at first he's chill, but then at the last second he's like, wait! But then, he goes up. And so, spoilers for Severance. So that's what that reminded me of. So yeah, he hears this, her voice, and it's enough for him to grab onto, so he doesn't go full into the Onyx Storm. He's
probably
holds on to one little piece, probably.
We don't know quite what it means, but lots of people smarter than us online are theorizing that it was a way for him to keep part of his soul.
Yeah.
The biggest hopeful indicator that I see right after this moment is that Sigale is well, she's going to have to choose. And also, Sigale at the beginning of this book wasn't even talking to Xaden. She was so pissed at him for becoming venin. So if Xaden was beyond the point of redemption, there's no way that Sigale would be hanging around.
But she's almost like hopeful at the end, where she's like, oh yeah, okay, it's up to her. Whatever she decides, that's what we'll do.
And she's like, okay, like, well, let's get going, because he has now moved on from initiate. He has these like red veins in his eyes. Like, he is clearly venom. They won't go away. So he has to like GTFO. Yeah. So then, oh my God.
Rebecca, if I find out where you live.
Oh my God. Okay. So then, holy crap. The next scene is the final chapter. It's from Violet's perspective and what happens.
Yeah. Okay. So you're asking me. Yes. Okay. So she wakes up.
I've been talking too much.
She comes to, wakes up, and she's talking to, like, she's back in Arisha, right?
Yeah. She's in a courtyard in Arisha. Yeah.
Yeah. And she sees Brennan, and he's like looking at her. Like, what's up?
Leaning over her or something, right?
And she's like, what's going on? Where am I? Who am I? What time is it? And then she looks down, and she has a ring on her finger. A big-ass ring on her finger.
An emerald ring.
Emerald on her ring finger.
That matches the missing stone from the Sword of Tyrandor. That was Xaden's dad's sword.
And they're like, what do you mean? Like, you've been gone for 12 hours or something? Is that what's said? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I need to reread this because I was so disturbed. I threw my book across the room. And she's like, what do you mean I was gone for 12 hours? And you find out that I think it's said that 4 riders are gone, as well as some dragon eggs.
And we know some of them that we don't know that they're gone. We know that they're missing.
They're not mentioned. Yeah.
Let's see. All right. The words are holding in Drathis as of the last report, but who knows how many of those desiccations during the battle were actually him. Missing. And so far, the tally is at 6 missing eggs from the hatching ground, but they're still double checking. She goes, missing eggs. I reach for Taryn, but the bond feels foggy, like he's asleep. He needs a cycle of rest to recover, Andarna says.
Critical. Mm-hmm.
Recover from what? He was fine when I saw him last, which was about 5 minutes ago, in the woods at the edge of the field, where I killed Theophany. Xaden. The wall of shadows. My heart sinks. What the fuck is happening? How did I get here? Why is my head so hazy? Am I concussed? You're dismissed, Brennan tells the writer. Keep this classified until we have a full report. Just because she's your sister doesn't mean she's not the fastest way. Dismissed, Brennan snaps, and the writer backs away. Do you know where he is? Brendan asked me softly when the other writer is fully out of earshot. Ryerson, when you heard what Wilson said, we have dead dragons and riders and missing eggs. And if you've seen Ryerson, I need to know, Violet. Words fail me. Why can't I think? I don't know. I raise my hands to my mouth and a piece of parchment in my front pocket catches on my arm and then falls. Brennan catches it. Cardulo? Which one's Cardulo again?
I don't know.
He lifts his eyes to Imogen. I think that's Garrick. I haven't seen him since yesterday, she says, her voice going low, almost monotone. Lieutenant Tavis? Among the missing, Brennan answers gently, then glances my way and does a double take. Holy shit, Violet. What? I lower my arms. Garrick is missing too? Who else makes up the 4 riders Wilson mentioned? Your finger, Imogen says, then stares to the ground. My finger? The snap. Right. I think I broke my arm. I glance down and stare. My left arm is splinted and a beautiful gold ring with an emerald the size of my thumbnail sits on my hand. Oh gods, I know that stone. It matches the others from the blade of Erasure upstairs on Xaden's nightstand. Is it the missing one? What's happening right now? I ask slowly. You don't know? Brennan.
Finally, she's asking some questions.
God damn. You don't know? Brennan lowers his voice. I shake my head. Brennan turns the paper from my pocket. This carries a seal of Dune, he says. May I open it? I nod, gawking at the ring. It's not just any ring on my finger. It's the finger. But how? I was in the middle of battling Theophany this afternoon. And then she desiccated and I burned myself straight into unconsciousness. Now it's 3 a.m. I'm in Erasure and there are murdered dragons and riders, missing riders and missing eggs. Xaden wouldn't do that, would he? The storm of shadows. My blood chills. How far had he gone? I fling myself down the bond, but there's nothing there. It's gone. Or he's too far away to feel it. I remind myself to keep from panicking. Then when did he put this ring on my hand? It's an official blessing of your legal binding marriage. Brendan whispers, stunned, and then quickly rolls a parchment by the head priestess of Dune's temple. To Xaden, gravity bends, warping everything I thought I knew.
It's like, huh?
Brendan nods, my eyes flare. We're married? 1,000 emotions try and force their way through my jumbled thoughts, but the immediate rush of awe trips right over the logic of how. There's no way I'd forget something like that. Why isn't he here? Where did he go and why? I think the note on the outside is meant for you. Brennan hands back the parchment. I flip the missive over to see 2 sentences written in Xaden's handwriting. Don't look for me. It's yours now. He's gone. I try and fumble my foggy brain through the overwhelming shock, but I can't think straight. It's like someone has fucked with my no. My jaw straws tight. How long have I been missing? 12 hours, Brennan answers. What did you do? My head snaps towards Imogen, and a deep sense of foreboding takes root in my chest. She slowly lifts her gaze to mine. What you asked me to. Sorry, we just had to read that so we didn't miss it.
You had to.
So she wiped her memory.
As soon as I read that, Abigail's there, she can attest, I threw my book on the ground. Like, I threw it away from me.
Well, because also the last line of the book is at the end of the page. So you're like, maybe there's another page.
But no, there's no more pages. Insane. Oh, yeah, Imogen can wipe memories.
So 4 writers are missing. One of them is Bodhi. One of them is Garrick. 2 unknown. Brennan is there. Yeah. And then there is also 6 missing dragon eggs.
Yeah.
Taryn is sleeping. He needs a cycle of rest.
To recover from what we don't know.
We know that Andarna has the ability to, like, bend, manipulate bonds. Yeah.
What an intense experience this book was. I feel like we've been talking an hour. We could talk another hour about it. But one thing I wanted to say is apparently there is a section in this last portion that you just read, probably before you started reading, but where Violet notices a figure moving in the shadows. So that's why I said, is Xaden there at the end? Because yeah, apparently there's just like a throwaway line where it's like a figure moves in the shadows or something.
I need the related. First chapter of the next book to be like in like this with Iron Flame, where we get like an immediate pick. Or I want to know what happened.
I want it to be the 12 hours. Yeah. I want it to be a flashback to the 12 hours, respectfully. And Rebecca, if you could just email that to me, that would be really great.
So here's our big questions: Did Taryn and Sigale have a bond break?
Yeah.
Did they break their mating bond so that Xaden could go away with Sigale to somewhere with the dragon eggs?
Yeah. I have seen another theory that possibly Andarna can like manipulate time, and she could have sped up, like manipulated the time of the bond, because it's like mentioned earlier that they have like a fresh bond. And so like once they have an older dragon bond, they can communicate over longer distances and they don't have to be together necessarily as much. So that's like another theory, that she could have sped up the timeline of their bond and then they could still communicate even if he's really far away. But I don't know. I do think like the better. Bond. Yeah, because it's like, you think they would, like Taryn would let them break his bond with Sigale? Like, I don't know.
Is pretty intense.
Yeah. So there would have to be a really, really compelling reason, I feel like. I don't think he would have just gone into that willingly. So maybe I like that as an alternate option. But anyways, other thoughts you have?
We want to know what happened with them. We want to know, is Violet just a dream walker, or can her signet develop into mind walking? And then if so, is this how she's going to be able to communicate with Xaden across long distances?
Sure.
In the next book.
I feel for sure that will come into play. Even if it is only dreams, like that somehow she'll be able to find him in her dreams or something.
And then what does Andarna know, and why did she decide to come back when she came back? And do the Irids know she's back? All that kind of stuff. And then there's this big theory, which I feel like this is where we're going, is that like they always reference the history of like the first 6 writers and how they raised the wards. Maybe it's 7. I don't know. But is there going to be like a second 6? And like the rules of that is like really powerful signets. Everybody
with each type of dragon.
Another thing that happened in the book that we didn't get to was that there's a first year at Besgaiath this year named Lynx, who manifests the shadow wielding signet, which is very rare. And Xaden makes a comment that he's wielding it because the magic knows that he's turning bad. Yeah. And so like Lynx now has this very powerful signet. Like that might be useful in doing whatever they have to do to beat the venom.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a second 6 and or 7. For sure. That feels very clear that the magic will manifest these specific signets among writers in order to like to mark these pivotal moments or to, you know, re-raise the wards or whatever they have to do. But it feels like the wards aren't going to be enough. They're going to have to get rid of the Vinin forever.
I feel almost certain at this point that Taryn is going to die. Because
stop saying that.
I'm just like, I have to like have anticipatory grief about this because
I get
if this catches me by surprise, like,
yeah, it's going to be too much.
It will be too much. But like, if the theory is true that Andarna severed their bond, then it almost guarantees that he's going to die, because then Taryn can just die without any other consequences, because Violet would survive because she's still bonded to Andarna. Sigale wouldn't die because she's no longer bonded to Taryn, and then Xaden wouldn't die because Sigale didn't die. So
I don't know. I'm going to hope that they all live. I do think more people will die, like closer to the plot, like not just.
It better not be Riddick.
No, don't kill Riddick. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Oh, okay. So this is what I was thinking earlier when I was like, let me parking lot that.
Oh, yeah.
So Riddick, they're on the island. Riddick finds out he's a Vinin. He figures it out. And he's like, okay, what is the line? Is it like if he would try and kill you, or if he would try and kill someone you love, whatever? I think this is going to be like a Harry Potter type beat where Violet is going to have to kill Xaden.
Right.
But maybe it's true that like part of his soul is in this emerald or something like that. And so he'll be able to be restored and like brought back to wholeness. But I think that she like the implication of a line means that it will eventually
that he has to cross it.
Be crossed. Like
right. And what will she do in that instance?
Yes. Chekhov's line.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think you might be right. I don't like that. I feel like though Xaden has to be in some state, because Theophany says this was actually really upsetting as well when she's like, "Oh, by the way, when you're Vinin, you don't feel love anymore," and she's like, "What the fuck? Like he doesn't love me? This is all fake." But you know, he still has some human parts to him, I guess. But I feel like for the romantasy, again, for the Roma part of the romantasy, like in the next book, he has to be in some kind of semi-stable, even if it's like a tortured existence, like there has to be some stability, like if they're communicating in dreams, maybe whatever. Like he can't be full evil, because otherwise then where will the romance part come from in the next book?
Yeah, you know he's going to have to be...
Or he has to be cured in the next book. Like there's no other option. He can't be full Vinin for a whole book.
Well, no, he most certainly has to still have some good quality, or else Sigale would have ditched him.
Yeah. So there has to be... And when he does come to, he's not like... you know, he's like, oh no, what have I done? Like he still feels the
well, yeah, he does. And whenever he's like, my brother, I can't believe you betrayed me. Like if he was really like full tilt, he would have been like, hell yeah, let's go. Right, we're Vinin now.
Yeah, I'm a Vinin now. Ride with the Vinin. So, you know, I'm just interested to see what his state is when we next see Xaden. Can he catch a break? Everything is bad is happening to Xaden.
So in this book, we got like mostly Violet POV, like 99%. Yeah. But then we also got a little bit of Xaden POV, and we also got Imogen POV, and we got a Rhiannon POV. I want a Riddick POV.
I would love a Riddick POV.
His relationship with his dragon, Atrum, is so funny.
Yes, he's funny. I would love it. I would love to see more into their
I want to read his stuff.
Sometimes I forget because you haven't read this, but there's a extremely long fan fiction called Crimson Rivers.
Yes.
And in that book, slash fic, it's aggressively long, but in that fic, the author like says up front, if someone gets a POV chapter, they won't die in the end. So sometimes I do forget that that's not like a rule everywhere. Because whenever there's a POV, I'm like, oh my god, thank god, this person's gonna live, and I'm like, oh no, that's actually not a rule. That was just Crimson Rivers.
I think like if she kills Riddick again. My friend Colleen is almost definitely listening to this. She's one of our loyal listeners. Colleen got banned from Reddit for 2 days for saying on the Fourth Wing subreddit that if she kills Riddick in the next book, she should order a drone strike on her house. And then she said in parentheses,
so funny.
mods and FBI. I'm joking, but she still got banned. It's really funny.
That was so funny.
But for real though, we would love to hear your theories. I really have no idea what the dragon eggs are for. Maybe
my only thought
trade.
is that they're trading it with that one of the kingdoms specifically said they would help if they had dragon eggs. So I feel like it kind of has something to do with that. Yeah, okay. That's my only thought. All right.
IDK, my BFF Jill. I don't know.
Please send us in your theories. We'll probably talk more about this. I feel like I'm still, like, so much happened in this book. I'm still sorting through all the Reddit threads that I want to read. And
I don't think we're going to get another book until the end of 2026.
Yeah, so we can revisit this with more theories at a later date. But thank you for listening to us. It felt so good to talk about this for now.
Yeah, I really needed to. And it was so fun for us to be able to be together.
I know.
While we were both reading this.
I know. It also really I don't think I would have finished it as fast because Abigail would be like, okay, on page 419, like something crazy happens. And then she was like, okay, the next crazy thing is like 10 more pages. I was like, okay, I gotta keep going. So that was really fun.
Yeah. It was just so fun. I was sitting there reading my little book and I was like watching her.
I know, it's so stressful. So scary.
Okay.
Have you read anything good recently?
Yes. So I was like, okay, I'm fighting this crazy book hangover.
Yeah.
How am I going to read anything after I finish Onyx Storm? But I read Flirting with Disaster, the sophomore novel by Naina Kumar.
Yay.
I loved Say You'll Be Mine.
Yeah.
Which actually, do you know there's another version of it? I think her original publishing of it is called Say You'll Be My John.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. That's really nice.
But anyways, her second book is a second chance romance. It's basically like our female main character, Mina, it's like Sweet Home Alabama is like the premise.
Yes.
So she has this life in DC. She had a marriage, like she had a Vegas marriage to like her boyfriend like 7 years ago, and they were like so in love. They like, we didn't plan this wedding, but let's stay married, whatever.
Let's do it. Yeah.
And so she needs to get a divorce from him. Not because she has another boyfriend. She has this guy that she's like on again, off again, and they're currently off.
Classic. Yeah.
But they're thinking about getting back together, and like she has like political aspirations and plans with this guy.
Sure.
And so she needs to she wants to run for office. In like the Maryland State Senate.
Stop!
I don't know why it's happening.
Squadcast, why? Okay. She wants to run for office.
She wants to run for office in the Maryland State Senate, and so she needs to like get rid of all of her baggage and like get this divorce final before she does it.
She can't just be low-key married to someone else.
She doesn't watch the news, I guess, like on this day. And she flies to Houston to go to her ex's house to like get this cooking.
Sure.
Flies there, and turns out there's a hurricane coming.
Classic.
So she gets stuck there with him.
So people aren't like me and insane and like tracking hurricanes, even though you don't live on a coast, for like weeks in advance. Okay, I get it.
You're like Robert California's kid who's like tracking some hurricane. Cold winds from the north, high low pressure system from the east.
I've never related to something more.
Anyways, so so they're there together, and it's like we're not getting a lot of context about their relationship except in flashbacks. Right. So it's just like immediate. They're back at the house together, and she has like attraction to him, and there's like this thing between them, and we don't really know what happened in the past. But we're getting it slowly while the storm is going on, and we're like, oh my God, dealing. The yearning was out of control. The yearning was so out of control. It was insane. I love the storyline of Sweet Home Alabama, but this was like minus racism.
Love it.
It was so freaking good. And I didn't think I could like a book more. Like, I didn't think I could like this one more than the last one, and I did. I don't normally give like romance books 5 stars, and this was 5 stars.
Okay, I'm all in. I had obviously I too really like Nainus Kumar's first book, and I put like an alert on Libby to let me know as soon as they got this book, and I instantly put it on hold, and I still became second in line, so I should get it any day now, I feel, because
I'm really excited for you.
I have been waiting for my time. But
I was like, how is this going so fast? Like, I want it to last longer, but I also need to be at the end. The yearning is truly, I mean, okay, as with the first book, there is a slight miscommunication thing of like, why won't you guys just say your feelings? But again,
it's okay.
It was good. It was okay.
Like, I love it. Okay.
Have you read anything else good besides Onyx Storm?
Yes, and pretend you haven't already heard about this in our Lost podcast episode.
That we lost forever.
Pretend, Imogen, erase that from your mind, because I still want to talk about this. Okay, because if you are looking for another ROMAntasy series that is complete and won't leave you on a devastating cliffhanger, you should read the Artifacts of Oranos series.
Oh yeah,
the first book, it's by Nisha Tooley, and the first book is The Trial of the Sun Queen. So this is described as The Bachelor meets The Hunger Games, which is like a very glib way to describe things
in a fantasy world,
in a way that people understand. But basically, it follows lore, and the lore, when we meet her, is like in her 20s, and she has been in this prison in the Aurora Kingdom, which is like, imagine Australia, but it's divided up into like 5 kingdoms. And the Aurora is like most north because they have the Northern Lights. And she's in the Aurora Kingdom. She is in prison. She doesn't really think she's committed any kind of crime, but perhaps she was targeted because of who her parents were. Unclear. She has very little memories of before being in prison. And she's in there with her older brother and sister, who were also like fake charged with crimes. And like no end in sight. Like, and also most people die in this prison within like 3 years, but somehow they're still alive. And anyways, one day she's thrown out into this pit because she, what are you laughing at?
The other day you were like, I always say anyways on the podcast.
I know, and now you're noticing it.
Now I'm like laughing that you said it.
Cut me
but
off.
I'm also have been very aware that I've been going.
I know. It's just you start to notice it when you hear yourself.
Yeah, anyways, continue. I'm listening to what you're saying. I just got distracted.
Okay. No, you're good. She's thrown into this pit. I'm going to challenge myself to not say anyways anymore. She's thrown into this pit, and in there, she has no food, no water. She's just in the elements. And so she's literally on the verge of death when she hears a riot going on in the prison. And while the riot's going on, she is taken from the pit by an unknown figure. And when she wakes up, she is actually in the Sun Kingdom down south. So it's warmer. And she's told that she is going to compete for the hand of the Sun King in this sort of
whether she wants to or not.
Whether she wants to or not. No consent here. She is fed a bunch of food. She's like, this is amazing because I have been eating gruel for 12 years. And she is like, okay, this is fine. This is my chance because all the kings and queens and royalty in this world are fae, and she's human. And if she
classic,
so all the other competitors are also fae, but they have one final tribute, as is their custom in the Sun Kingdom, who is always a human to kind of show like the humans, you can rise above your terrible station that we have created for you because we're all the ruling class. And you too could be the Sun Queen if you just work hard enough. But always the final tribute always dies in these games. But Laura's like, I'm going to lock in. I've been in prison for 12 years. I have survived worse. And I can survive this. And if I can become the Sun Queen, then I can become high fae. I will like ascend and I'll get powers and also I'll be a queen. So I can save my brother and sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll save my siblings from prison because they're still in there. And I don't know if they're okay. I don't know if that riot that I heard, what happened to them. So she's working hard to win. I just think, okay, this is a very interesting premise, but it's a 4-book series. And I liked this premise, but I would say the books get better from there. And she kind of ends up having to like go on this quest, obviously save the world. So there's a lot of other characters going in, fall in love with who we don't know, but it's very fun. And I am currently reading the last book in the series. I finally got it. So I haven't finished it yet, so I can't promise you that it has a satisfying conclusion. But I will say, like, literally every book I've rated higher than the last. And I really liked the first one. It hooked me, but I feel like it gets better and better as the series goes on. And it's kind of an interesting world and very enjoyable characters. And Laura's kind of interesting because she's not giving the, like, I'm so small and, like, frail. Like, she has been through prison and she's very hardened by that and comes into these trials with, like, a lot of abilities that make sense based on her life so far and her difficulties she's faced. And so I kind of like that. She's kind of like her own person and she's fighting for her own freedom and then falls in love along the way by me, of course. But it's really fun. So read these books.
I will. I have the first
Very
one on
recommend.
hold. You really sold me.
Can't wait. Yeah.
All right. Well, tell us the things that we missed about Fourth Wing, about Onyx Storm. We'd love to hear your
Please.
theories in our comments. Follow us on Blue
Please.
Sky.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys
Chit chat.
on the flippity flip. Bye.
Bye.